We are live, Fernando.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. This is the kind of warm up. Everyone's, cracking their neck, getting ready, getting nimble, as we're here for another role play, another real, raw, unblinded role play. This is not just like any other role play, because the thing is that these are not staged. And the thing is that these role plays and these people are real. And the truth is, a lot of the people here don't really have any idea what's going to happen. And that makes it even funner. So we have people from all over the world. Literally, we have Bali and California that are here hanging with us. And I'm super excited. Two dear friends, two dear members of our movement. And it's going to be exciting. So we're going to give everyone about 2 more minutes to to get here. And Gil, Sean's going to be asking you to share a little bit about yourself. So we'll save that in a few minutes. But just share with us, what are you present to? You're in Bali right now. What are you feeling? What are you thinking as you step into this real raw role play, so we can get an idea of the pulse of the mind of Gil. So what are you feeling in 30 seconds, Gil? Talk to me.
So first of all, for me, it's evening time, so I'm feeling really grateful for having an absolutely amazing day. As your team knows, I just celebrated my birthday on Friday, and I just came down from 3-day solitude on one of the top mountains here in Bali. So I'm feeling energetic. I'm ready to serve you guys in whichever way possible. I have no idea what's going to happen, which is exciting.
I love it. Well, that is real. That is raw. And brother, happy birthday. It brings me great joy that there's human beings on the planet that are taking time for them. I remember when birthdays were about clubs and things and other dynamics. And I feel as you mature and you get wiser, the last thing you want to do on your birthday is be around a bunch of people we don't know. So I honor you for your mountain experience. And I'm glad that you're here with that energy, because you always know how to bring it. And I believe we're still waiting for Shannon to get on, and Sean will be here momentarily as well. So for everyone in our movement, let us know where you're calling in from. Everyone in our chat, let's blow it up. Where are you calling in from? And if you're watching this from YouTube, welcome. And I'm so excited. And let's pre-frame a little bit. And even though I know Sean's going to lay it down, these are real, raw role plays for a reason. And our goal is to share with everyone in our movement and everyone watching the power of influence. Because both of these people, we have Gil and Shannon, gentleman and female, they are stellar in the world of human connection. Literally, Gil is known as a networking guru, and Shannon is dominating in the world of PR. And PR pretty much means public relations, which is people, which is connection, human capital. So you have 2 human beings who have made their living from influencing others to see their future in them. And that takes multiple yes conversations. So I'm excited because of anyone to learn from are these 2 people. Gil, how'd you go from talking to people and making friends to living in Bali? How do you give me a synopsis of that story?
What's up, people?
What's happening, Mr. Kagi? Nice hat. I'm loving it.
Thank you. We got the unblinded look going this morning. They're going since 6 a.m.
Tilt the phone down a little bit for me so we can see more of your face, if you don't mind.
Pull it down, you said?
Yeah. Just tilt the phone towards you so we can center you up. Yep.
Better?
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Okay, awesome. So Gil and Shannon, thank you guys. How you doing?
Doing beautiful, looking good, man.
Thank you. You as well, sir, even though I can't see you, but I presume that you are because I'm blind. But Fernando, these are looking good people, yes?
Gil is a good-looking man, and Shannon's hair and lips are on fire.
And on fire. What's up, Shannon?
Damn. Hey, nice to meet you, Gil. Happy birthday.
Yeah. So listen.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna do a reveal for everybody that's out there and everybody's here. We're gonna spend a couple quick minutes. Actually, before we do the reveal, let's do the reveal first. So here's what we're doing. We're literally, as Fernando said on the huddle, and we'll say it here. And this is something that we coined just recently. It's what are we doing? What is unblinded? What's the reality? And as we said, there's really 3 realities. One is that influence is a superpower. And I'll take anybody on that wants to have that discussion. Influence is a superpower. Having it and knowing what to do with it. Superpower, we'll define that in a minute. Second, we have that superpower and can teach it. And third, you can learn it. People can learn it and accelerate. Now, why that's important, and what we're gonna demonstrate. So first I wanna demonstrate that it's a superpower really quickly. You often hear me, and Gil, you may not have heard this, Shannon, you probably have from me, but to let this land for the 90-second version of it, the biggest challenge, I think, for all of you listening for the first time and for Gil, and if you've heard me say it before, let it land today and drive you forward, the fear of missing out on using your superpower is this. Gil, you're in the 99th percentile in income if you make $400,000 a year in the US. You're in the, and so people would say, hey, you're a top 1%er, right, Gil? So if I said, hey, like you want to be a leader, be a top 1%er, a lot of people reflexively say yes. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And something else they would say is that if somebody is great at something, let me do it with you, Gil. If you were to say somebody is great at something on a scale of 1 to 10, 10's perfect. Like nobody's perfect. Let's take 10 away. But if you're gonna say on a scale of 1 to 10, when somebody is great at something, what rating number would you give them?
7.
Okay. A 7 would mean if somebody was great at something that they would make in US income about $65,000 a year, give or take $10,000, about that number, right? So Gil, would you be happy making $65,000 a year?
Not exactly.
No, not exactly, right?
20 years ago, I would be, not today.
Not today, right? And so, so here's the challenge. When we I associate numbers as the most objective measurement of things, okay? And I think that people measure their income in numbers, they measure their bills in numbers, and then when it comes to their ability to influence the value of their ecosystem, they don't really measure it in numbers at all. So let's go back to measuring. Let's pretend we would correlate influence with your income and economics. So if somebody said, hey, like, how strong was that presentation? And they're like, it was a 9.5. A 9.5 on the income scale is 150K, right? Again, I don't think most people on this line would be thrilled making 150K. If we're at 99, you're at 400,000. If you're at 99.9, now you're at 1.7 million. So here's the first axis. The differential between 400,000 and 1.7 million is 4x. It's more than 4x. And the difference on the scale is microscopic. But now watch this. If you go from 99.9, 1.7 million, to 99.99, now you jump to 7.8 million in personal income. Now all you've done is go up 0.01%, and you've increased to 7.8 million, which would be about 20x from the 99th percentile. One more 0.001, right? Now you're at 56 million. So it goes 400,000, 1.7 million, 7.8 million, 56 million as you move from 99 to 90.9999. Okay, why do we say this? I say it because you know Tony Robbins, Gil, Shannon as well, like, right? We know Oprah Winfrey, and I mean, not know them like having dinner with them, but know them as people, right? And I use them as such beautiful examples all the time because their level of influence is so much more extraordinarily powerful, valuable than the next person. And what I think people get so confused about is math. I think people don't think in terms of numbers. And so this doesn't land on them completely. And they mistake linear and exponential. And if they didn't, Shannon and Gil, if they didn't mistake linear and exponential, then they would be all over attaining the superpower of influence. Because they would look at Oprah, they'd look at Tony, they'd look at Bruce Springsteen, they'd look at other people of massive influence, and they'd want to acquire that skill set. It's why Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton. Say whatever you want, make up whatever reasoning. I will easily, in 1 hour or 15 minutes, debunk any myth that there's any other reason Trump beat Clinton that he was more persuasive. The same reason Bill Clinton won, the same reason why Obama beat McCain and Romney, because they had more of an ability to influence. Whoever has more ability to influence wins. And the exponential differential of quote unquote winning consistently over time equals multi-billion dollar net worth or billion dollar plus net worth of Oprah Tony Robbins, if you look it up on, whatever Google outlets, they'd say 600 million in climbing, and Tony will eventually be a billionaire. I'm confident, because he attained the superpower of influence. And it's very different than just getting in better shape. It's very different than being really good at history. It's very different than anything else to me. How much you can bench press, Gil, doesn't go up 100x. Somebody who could bench press 200 pounds doesn't get stronger and then is able to bench press 2,000 pounds. It doesn't happen in other mechanisms, but it does happen in influence. So why do I share all of that? I share it because everybody wants more, but most people, and I'm going to say this in now my Zeus hat, Fernando, they suck at influence. They suck at having people go from hello to yes. They don't suck in life. They don't suck in the skills they have with people, but in comparison to the brilliance of their skill set, they're horrible in going from hello to yes. Fernando, check in. Social proofing in 15 seconds. What's present?
Yeah, 100%. And social proofing would be, if we look at previous role plays, we've had some really amazing people. And remember, it's not about right or wrong. It's all about where you are on the scale of mastery. Everyone we've had in here is successful, whether it's financially, in their quality and lifestyle. And even though they've reached this level of success, what we would just call, top 1% and more, they still are deficient in their formula. And what has become a common thread, for example, is ability to scale and replicate. And by the way, yes, it's a process mastery, and it's also an influence mastery, because if they can't get the other person to see their future in them, they cannot scale. Yeah. So even though we're not talking about sales, I'm talking about scale, it's all about influence and multiplication.
And for everybody wants more, some combination, more money and less time with more magic. Shannon, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Shannon, I'm going to tell you this straight up, and for everybody. Shannon is an absolute person of the highest integrity, highest ability to get things done, is absolutely extraordinarily remarkable, right? And everybody in the world who wants to get something done in the space of event, in the space of acceleration of their global identity in the world, their story getting out, Shannon is a rock star genius to make that happen. I believe that to the core of my existence, Shannon. So can you receive that from me?
Thank you.
Okay. Did you hear how Shannon said thank you, though? I did this on purpose. Everything I do is on purpose. Fernando, what did you hear Shannon say in her thank you?
Wow. It feels really good, and I really needed to hear that right now. So thank you, Sean. It means a lot to me that you've been able to see the things I've done, and more importantly, you see what I'm doing in the world, and I love you for that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what else I heard. I heard I'm a little uncomfortable with saying that. Did I hear that, Shannon?
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, but it was some of what Fernando said, but it was also that you were uncomfortable with me saying that. Fair?
Yes, definitely. More so that than the latter. Yeah.
Well, we're still developing Fernando's listening sharpening. He is at a 9.99. I am just at a 9.9999, and I love him.
The distinction.
Yes, the micro distinctions.
Correct.
So listen, this is why we're here. Because Shannon, you're remarkable, and more people need to know it. And my hallucination is that in explaining the greatness of others, you're at a 99.999. Explaining your greatness, you're about a 7. That is my current assessment. And you're remarkable. And it's rooted, and this is the other drop the mic part, it's not just rooted in how we learn a formula of influence. It's learning to unlearn all the BS that we've learned about hiding and about talking about ourselves. So Shannon, growing up, what did you hear? What did you hear from people about sharing your greatness? Like, what's the earliest lessons you heard from parents, teachers, friends, family about talking about yourself? What did they tell you?
Yeah, Irish family, right? Like, be humble. So there's a problem when, for me, I will, again, talk about, I'm blind and everyone all day, but I had a story that I told myself that, I don't like to boast. So I keep it,
Yeah. So you hide. So like you're like, even right now, there's like a hidingness energy that's going on. And just pausing, Gil, you said you were introverted growing up, right? And when you were introverted growing up, what was the story that you, Gil, had heard from people in your family, in your culture, right, about talking about yourself, promoting yourself? Maybe it's different than what Shannon heard. What did you hear?
It was not really discussed about myself. It was more, you know, about people. Those people are successful because of that. Like, we don't necessarily have that. Those people have that because of that. It was kind of, my parents were coming up with excuses and were teaching me that excuses why it's difficult to achieve what someone else has. So basically, you know, it was more about be happy with who you are and what you have and settle for that. I didn't know I was an introvert back then. It's just something I learned at an older age, that I'm an introvert. Back then, I just thought I was shy with 3 friends. That's it.
Right. So, you know what pisses me off, Gil? Like, one of the top 10 things that pisses me off in the world. Like I care about world hunger. Like, that matters to me. But I feel less driven to cure world hunger than I do to cure the ability for integrity-filled, amazing people like yourselves, like hopefully myself and the people listening, to unlock their next level so that we all can cure world hunger together by unlocking our powers together, right? And creating more. And so what pisses me off, makes me crazy, is I am a student of Tony Robbins' work and have been for a long time, amongst others, but Tony Robbins for sure. And what makes me nuts is that Tony talks about modeling, and he tells people to model, and then people don't model him. Like, I try to model him, not only his teaching, but also what he does. And you know what Tony does? He gives massively. He loves people. You know what else he does? He talks about his unique identity honestly and openly. He talks about the fact that he works with celebrities. He talks about the fact that he rescues tons of people from sexual slavery. He talks about the fact that he feeds hundreds of millions of people. And he does it for multiple reasons. And one of the reasons is to help get other people involved, and also so people know how badass he is, how unbelievable he is. So people want to listen to him more because they should. But people wouldn't know they should listen to him unless they knew all the incredible things he was doing. My hallucination is, Shannon, you're doing far more incredible things than you share with people regularly and consistently, so they get how much they should be listening to you, Shannon. Am I onto something there?
Definitely, yeah. I think in the underground New York world, there was always a time where I got significance, I think, from having people come to me, and if they were in the know, they knew who was doing it. So I thought I could be the wizard behind the curtain, you know, and then if you know what's up, you knew who did what.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with what you're saying, you know,
Yeah.
definitely.
And the other thing here, right, that strikes me is somebody like Tony or somebody like Oprah, they make tons of money. And they should make tons of money because they add massive, incredible value to people. And what I come across very often in the personal development world are people who, again, let's talk about modeling Tony. Tony has no problem charging extraordinary amounts of money for Platinum Partnership and Alliance. And by the way, I think it's undercharged for the value that I've received. Okay, so it costs a ton of money, but it provides exponentially even more value. But he's got no problem congruently charging extraordinary amounts of money for his programs, for his coaching, $1 million a year. And then people who believe in him, who love him, who are passionate about his work, they're like, oh, I don't know, like, Corona's here. Is it okay if I charge money for what I do? Well, ask yourself this. What would Tony do? What is Tony doing right now? What is he doing? Model the people. If you're going to model people, don't just model a part of it and then pretend that the rest is something different, ready for the drop the mic, to round it and surround it in your own comfort zone. So don't lie and pretend you're a fan of Tony Robbins' work and then hide behind your comfort zone of saying, well, I don't know if I should really ask that much for my services. I'm not really comfortable. right? That's completely insane. Ask yourself, what did Tony do? Tony was 23, 24, 25 years old, was out there connecting with celebrities, saying, I can coach you, I can train you, give me a shot, I'm amazing, this is what I can do. But he did that after he did something else. And after he did something else, and that's build rapport, right? And that's what NLP talks about, every influence program in the world talks about. But what we do here, Shannon, Gil, everybody listening, what we are doing here is teaching a methodology of how you can share your greatness, but under principles of reciprocity, science, cultural norms, and realities, how to first have somebody else step into their greatness so you can do for them what Oprah says is why she had a superpower. My words, not hers. Her words were why she held the microphone for 30,000 people. And what I would add, why billions of people watched it, is because she said, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters. And it's goddess loving energy, and it's Zeus kick-ass energy. 1 billion people of influence is kick-ass energy. Oprah had that and has it for one scientific formulaic reason, and that is what we teach here. And I'll dare say this challenge. I'll make you a bet. I said this to somebody, and they're like, you think you're better than Oprah? No, I don't think I'm better than Oprah. When I have Oprah's influence in the world, then I could say I rival Oprah. But I'll tell you what I am better at Oprah than. I'm better at teaching people how to be Oprah than Oprah is. Because Oprah has spent her life gaining influence, right, and advancing her own ability to convey her unique identity. What I spent my life doing is studying why people like Muhammad Ali, Bruce Springsteen, Oprah, Tony Robbins have the superpower that they have. And by the way, I have that power at a pretty kick-ass level, and now I'm unleashing it in the world. And let's see where I stack up in 1, 2, and 5 years, because I think I'm going to have some pretty sick stuff happening because I know how to do it. I've just been hiding on purpose. I'm not hiding anymore. So what the influence off about is about unlocking people's superpower, demonstrating and teaching it, and just the rules of the road. There's not going to be a winner and a loser today. Both you, Shannon, and Gil are going to advance because we are launching our format formally next week. And I'm going to ask for lots of people's help with that. Shannon, we've had some beautiful conversations about it. We'll have more. And so starting next week, what's going to happen is when there's face-offs like this, the real raws, these real raw role plays during the day, we're going to have one per day with 2 amazing people, the likes of Shannon and Gil, right? And next week, there's going to be a winner, right? And somebody's going to advance. So there's going to be 5 winners of the daily influence, real raws. Those 5 winners are going to go to the nightly, the 1 week, once a week at night influence off, where they're going to meet up with the 5 winners from the week before. And the 10 people are going to compete. 5 are going to advance, 5 are going to go home. Everybody learns, the viewership, everybody learns. And here's the key, what they're going to learn. That the most successful people crushing it in the world, Shannon is crushing it. Gil is crushing it. We had multi-level marketing people on a couple days ago with 750,000 and 350,000 people in their downline, making multiple 7 figures, crushing it, and they had access. Rob Gill, making 7 figures, has access and crushing it. America's Accountant, Courtney Epps, who went from $7,500 a month to $250K, has access for growth. So the lesson is we all have massive access for growth, and we're all creating acceleration. That's what this is designed to do. Shannon, what is present for you as I share all that?
Yeah, I'm learning so much again.
But what do you think of this, like, in the world and the power to influence people, defined as going from hello to yes? Like, are you present to the reality? And do you believe that's a superpower mathematically? And if you don't, let's talk about it.
I do believe it's a superpower. You brought to my something that always came organic to me. I didn't know it was systemized. It seems that, Gil, since you were more introverted growing up, you may have found it to be more systematic. For me, I was always more of an extrovert when it came to other people, and it came to connecting people, and honestly, creating life as a party, having fun. Like, I was a PR person since I was 7. I started a private members club in elementary school. So I never knew that was just who I was. It wasn't really what I developed into. to be. Now, I mean, there's ways to expand that and go deeper, like you spoke about, really knowing the value of that ability to connect. That was, it was hard to monetize for me because I didn't want it to seem transactional.
You took the words out of my mouth. My question was going to be, Shannon, would you like to monetize at a higher level your ability to influence?
Not only would I like to, I need to, because it's exactly what you said. People who have the best stories that will impact culture are more important than ever now. Because we're in a time of change, you know. In New York City, businesses rely on people like Gil and I to keep their doors open. So it's more important than ever.
So let's work on that monetization. So Gil, how about yourself? Do you believe that now, do you have any question that influence is a superpower?
It's definitely a superpower that I only discovered a few years ago that I had when some universities asked me to come in and speak to their MBA students that are about to graduate. Can you tell them how to like network so they can get better jobs now? And I was like, I don't know how to teach it. It's like, I just do it. And they started asking me, how do you do it? How did you learn? And for me, it wasn't systematic, and it was really modeling. And I love what you said, Sean. I really, really resonate with the modeling part. And I modeled Tony a lot when I was younger. And one of the mistakes I think I made back then, I see people making it all the time. They look for the perfect model. They look for the perfect human being to model instead of saying, you know what? There is no perfect human being. You like this person, you respect this person, go for it. Follow them, like support them, serve them. See if you can do something for them in any way possible. And you also don't need to find one model. And I think one of the greatest things by becoming an influencer is to make sure to say, well, I'm an influencer, but these 5 people I love. Please influence me. Please allow me to grow to your level. So I'm always telling people to look for models who are not necessarily 100 times bigger than them, because sometimes that's difficult to achieve, but are 10 times bigger than them. So there's realistic steps that they could take to actually achieve it.
And so thank you, brother. And here's what we're, final piece, and let's launch into the role play. What we're here to prove, the entire purpose of this, so it's teaching and proof, is that what we have studied here is how to duplicate these people because they all have something in common. It's a linear formula. And we are here to teach that formula, unlock that formula for people, because that's been the study and work of my life that's enabled me to create multiple top jury verdicts in the country in cases that people said were impossible, to disrupt mock jury verdict consulting processes, to scale and grow businesses at rapid rates. It's by unlocking that superpower and putting it to a linear sequencing in the most complete formula that's ever existed. And that's what we're doing here. And we want to create that access point for everybody. We want to serve both of you in thinking of ways that we can accelerate what you're up to and demonstrate to the world what you already have. So you guys ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, Fernando, let's take us into, it's going to be 3 minutes. And Gil is going to sell, we'll flip a coin between Gil and Shannon. And it's going to be 3 minutes that you're going to have to sell Fernando on whatever it is you want. So Shannon, perhaps, would you want to have Fernando become a client of your PR firm? Or what would be the best thing you'd like to influence him?
I'm the one who's like, I say no. And then people call me back and go, I don't know. Can you give me more context?
Yeah, you want a yes. What's the biggest and best yes that you'd be after in the world right now? Any yes. What's the yes you want?
Oh, gosh. What are we working on? Gil, you want to go first? I mean, right now we're developing our first film.
Ladies first, please, Shannon.
Gil with the.
So any yes, Shannon. What's the yes in the world that you'd want from somebody? You said you want to create monetization.
Today,
what do you want somebody to pay you to do?
This afternoon, we're pitching to a big studio on our second documentary film.
Okay, and what do you want them to do?
We want them to produce the film.
Okay, awesome.
And then fund the film.
3 minutes, you're going to convince Fernando to produce the film. Okay? And then Gil, think of whatever your biggest yes is. We will go, Shannon, actually, we're not going to make anybody go first. What we're going to do is I have numbers under the desk right now. I will show you.
Okay.
It's a 1 or a 2. You pick the number and then you decide whether you go first or not. What number do you think I have?
1.
I have 2. So Gil, do you want to go first or second?
I don't care. Shannon, do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Right, Gil,
Okay, I'll
you're
do
going
it for
first.
you, Shannon.
It's too broad for me.
I'm a gentleman, you know?
Yeah.
Ready? Here's the challenge, and what I'm going to confront the heck out of. If you're going into a meeting today to present, not pitch, to present that, Shannon, and you're a rock star, I promise you, we're going to shape that today, and where you should be right now is so tight that these people have to be insane to say no to you. And that's what we're in service of. So the uncertainty, the like, I'm not sure, I don't really want to go, like that, like right now, right here is the space in which everybody should be, whatever yeses you're seeking in love for the other person, because it's not about Shannon today. She's not pitching anything. She's giving these people, these documentarians or producers or whatever they are, the opportunity to say yes to something they should say yes to, which is working with Shannon on producing something incredible. And they're out of their mind and they will lose if they don't say yes. Do you believe, Shannon, that they would be losing out if they don't say yes to you?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's cut the BS and let's own it, and let's in love and service of them in a sequencing that goes through fun, goddess, aspirational Zeus energy sequencing in the steps. Let's share it. That's what we're here to do. Yeah, what's the yes that you want?
It's a really good question. I've been thinking about that actually.
Here, I'll support you.
Good.
We can go yes on me hiring you to be my networking coach, or you can sell me your ethical deal making program.
You pick.
Sure. Yes, I'm happy to be. So I do teach people a lot about, strategic deal making. So I'm happy to work with you on that, which is all really about networking.
Yeah. So you have 3 minutes.
Creating more opportunities in your life. Yeah. I'll be your coach. Let's do it.
Hard 3 minutes to get Fernando to say yes. So it's hello to yes. You met him at a Tony Robbins event. You bumped into him. You saw him jumping around. He has great energy. And you have 3 minutes to go from hello to yes. Fernando, take it.
All right. 3 minutes. Hello to yes. We met at a Tony Robbins event. You're coming up to me. You're poking me. You're saying hello. In 3 minutes. Clock is 9:34. Gil, your time starts now. Hit it.
Fernanda, how many opportunities do you get after such events when you show up at a Tony Robbins event feeling amazing? How many new opportunities come into your life that you're actually able to follow up with?
Gil, I feel like I meet a lot of people and it's just overwhelming cards, half-written cell phone numbers. If I had to choose, I think I maybe walk away in 4 days with Tony with like 20 business cards, I would say, about 20.
Which is something amazing. Every single time I show up at these events, I find myself meeting so many people. And the hardest thing that I remember having to do back in the days is, how do I actually follow up with them and convert them into a friend, into a partner, or a potentially interesting deal, right? But what I figured out, there's actually a way to do that. And I love sharing that with people. And that's one of the main reasons I show up at Tony's events, because I feel like it's a gift that everyone has inside of them. They're just afraid to get it out.
I hear you. And just out of curiosity, what brings you said that's why you attend Tony Robbins events. So you attend to meet people. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm constantly attending because I find when I meet people, they bring me to the next level and they bring new opportunities, new insights, and new ways to awaken myself. Why do you show up?
That's funny. I have different language, but very similarly, I believe that, proximity is power, as something Tony Robbins says. And even though I do come for the content, I do come for the people. And listen, I'm loving what you're saying. I got about 60 more seconds. So I'm just curious. So you're here to meet people. I'm here to meet people. You say you teach people how to do things with people. I think I caught. I want to make sure I understand.
Well, listen, if we have an opportunity to stay in touch, one of the things that I could definitely help you if we jump on a little call and, when you're back home and I'm back home, I don't know where you live, but we'll find a way to connect. I'd love to talk to you about how we could stay in touch and how I can introduce you to some of the people that I've met at the event itself. This could potentially help you develop your business, potentially find a life partner, potentially just learn how to stay in touch and develop more opportunities in your life for them.
You know what? Let's do it. Tony talks about modeling and, you seem to be, especially, I love your certainty, someone that knows how to network very effectively. So I'm going to model your process of networking with me. And then I'm looking forward to our conversation. So I'll have someone call and set that up. Pleasure meeting you, Gil. Hope you have a great day.
Well, if you give me your card right now, what I'd love to do is I'd love to ask my assistant to actually send you one of my free books as a nice gift for you.
Here's my card. Boom, done.
I'll take a picture of that. You get to keep your card. I don't want to recycle it in the future. It's a quick picture would do the job.
I appreciate that. You know what? I love saving turtles too. Thank you, brother.
Very nice. Good work. Excellent. Okay. Scale of 1 to 10. Shannon, gravitational pull that you see Fernando having towards Gil. 10 being 9.9999 being like Fernando is glued to Gil, can't ever leave his side. 0 is being he's running away, like disgusted. 5 being, what's the number you put on it? Exactly.
Well, to preface, I do believe that Gil is probably 10x better in person than the digital world, right? Because what he's so good at is probably building rapport and then bringing it online.
Yeah,
so
of course.
That's a different world, right? We're all challenged now.
And I would never sell in the first
Right?
minutes.
So
No way.
That's why it's a bit difficult here, and then why we both feel uncomfortable, because in the unblinded community, we know that we need to build rapport. Now, how do you build rapport digitally? Maybe this is something we could all talk about, because you know the world's going to change for a couple months, and it's hard.
Can I make a bold claim?
Yeah.
Hit it. Say it.
Put a number on it, and I will effing crush the number when I go. That's the whole point. So the whole point of this is there is a formula, and we are going to demonstrate it. So you are beautiful soul. I love you, Shannon, to no end. Put a number on it, and let's deal with numbers and reality, because numbers don't lie. So what's the number? Be honest.
7.8.
Okay. Fernando, what's your number?
I'm going to go with 5.6.
Okay, 5.6. Okay, now, what Gil did great is he asked beautiful questions. What Gil did great is he had immense certainty. What is an opportunity for growth? And he listened well, but there was an opportunity, there was an opportunity to go deeper. He doesn't have he has a process mastery formula, which he's a genius at. Taking people from the events to follow-up phone call into ethical deal making. He's a genius. He's a rock star, period, right? He's a rock star. So you don't get to be on the Real Raws unless you're a rock star. The point is, though, that even the real rock stars, there's another level of access. So Fernando, can I take a shot?
Take a shot.
Okay. So, hey, Fernando, it is Fernando, right?
Yeah, Fernando.
Somebody
And you are?
name, I heard them. Dude, your energy has been infectious at this event. What brought you here?
Great question. I connected with some really cool people known as the Platinums. I was able to make some friends with them at a UPW event, and it led me to business mastery. So I'm here to, learn about business. But the truth is, I really was looking forward to sitting in the Platinum section so I can get to know some more people of that caliber.
Yeah, I'm hearing you want to know people, like why you were going to get to know people, like what are you up to in the world?
What I'm up to in the world is that I'm building a branding agency, and what I know to be true is that at least for my world, human capital is the future currency of the world. So I know that's a bold statement, but I do believe human capital is the future currency of the world. And I was thinking of where to rise my human capital, and I couldn't think of a better place than the Tony Robbins atmosphere and the Platinum Group. So I'm here to surround myself with that type of people.
Human capital is the future of the world. Like,
yes,
amazing intentionality. Like, taken aback that I would say in the 3 days I've been here, that is the most intentional statement that I've heard yet. Like, what are you up to? Like, why are you doing all this? I get like human capital is the future of the world, huge. Why do you care? Like, what's your drive and why? What are you up to? What are you up to?
What's my drive and why? Well, Sean, I'm going to go bold statement after bold statement. The reason why I exist is to rewrite humanity. And for a long time, I had no idea what that meant. And I've learned very quickly through proximity and my involvement with the organization Unblinded that communication is a superpower, and so is influence. And the reason why I want to be around so many people is that I believe that through connecting and rising the identity of other people, I can impact the highest number of people in my lifetime. So I'm playing a game known as peopleification, which is impact 100 people to impact 1 million. And I believe my 100 people are in this room. And listen, I want to keep chatting, I got about like 30 seconds. I'm loving the questions, really am. I just got to go.
Yeah. Most remarkable statements I've heard, 10 seconds. What's your biggest challenge right now? Remarkable how intentional you are. I've heard 5 words I've never heard before. 10 seconds. What's your biggest challenge right now?
People don't get my words.
So you have words, people don't get them. Here's what I'd love to ask. There's a technology I teach on how people can go from hello to yes. I'm going to make one bold claim. I've deeply listened to you, that it's the greatest technology in the space on earth. I'd love to chat with you for 15 minutes after this is all over. Can I get your contact info? And if I'm not that, then tell everybody here I'm a liar, because you know a lot of people already. Fair deal or no?
Well, from one bold statement guy to another, I wouldn't want to do that to you. I wouldn't want to tell anyone anything.
I want you to, so I'll never waste your time. So do you want to chat?
Yes. You know what? Let's chat at the next break. You're a curious guy and you got a cool hat, so let's do it.
All right. Pause. Scale 1 to 10.
You have broken my my knowingness, which wasn't strong, but it was there. And that's a pretty bold statement, man. You're putting yourself on the line, and I know a lot of people. So if you're not who you say you are, it's not going to be, good for your heroic, unique identity. So you either have something or you're an effing lunatic, both of which I'm interested in.
Yeah. So scale 1 to 10. What's the number you put on? I'm gonna go with
a solid 9.1.
Okay. Shannon, what do you go with? What number?
9. But again, you're the bold claims. If you make those claims, you got to be able to produce, right? But integrity, yeah.
But
which you can, but
that's not all I did.
Yeah.
Right. It's not all I did. Fernando, what else did I do that was an optimization?
You figured out why I was here, what's important to me, and the biggest one is why. Where is this all going? Great, you're here, you meet people. Why is it important to you? And in getting that, you were able to speak into my listening. And the biggest pain point was what? Great, I hear, that's incredible. What are your challenges? What's stopping you from doing it? And then you spoke the solution into my listening through your formula. So that's a jumble of words, but it was super intentional in a span of like 20.
One, I made it all about Fernando.
Yeah.
2, it went deeper. Did it go deeper, Fernando? Did we go
deeper? It did.
Okay.
Yeah, about 2 questions deeper, yeah.
Yeah, because we got to his why. Then we got to his direct pain points out of his mouth, not mine. And I said almost nothing about me except my listening and my questioning is what shaped my heroic, unique identity.
Yeah, and I would add,
what, Fernando?
I would add your speed and tempo. Like your matching and mirroring of my like kind of like angst energy was also very present. You weren't trying to bring it down.
Yeah, and then I hit you with a Zeus moment of boom into your solution for 2 sentences. And it left, because in any initial interaction with people, we want to have 2 things created. We want to have people see us as unique, but not weird. Like unique, but not weird. Because people don't like weird. Like unique, but not, and everybody's weird is different. But to them, in their prism, unique, right? And we want to have people see their future in us. Like see their future in us. Like curiosity. Like maybe my future could be seen in unique and curiosity. That's what we're seeking in a brief interaction like that. And then we expand that entire formula and we have more. Okay. So Shannon, with that said, are you ready?
Yeah.
That says no. Fernando, what did you just hear?
Hopefully my Zoom connection cuts off.
Shannon, what is most present for you in your angst? Because there's very substantial angst. So what is it that you're honestly feeling?
Honestly, I do not like to role play. Right? I'm good at when there's an actual situation. So role playing is new to me. I just get in my head. I go, well, what is your name? What agency are you with? Like all these questions. I guess I would be a method actor.
Okay, so Fernando is the person you're going to get a yes from today. Mm-hmm. That's who Fernando is. It's not a stranger. It's not anybody. He's the person you're going to get a yes to from today. And you have 3 minutes. They screw you over. They're like, listen, I'm not even sure if we're interested. So you have 3 minutes and what you're buying is more time. So you're buying more time to present this. That's what the yes you're seeking.
Okay.
Like you're not seeking the ultimate yes, just the yes that's going to get you an hour with them or half an hour, whatever you think the next step should be in the progression of getting to the ultimate yes of producing this documentary. Is that fair?
Cool.
Okay. So Fernando, take it.
Go ahead, Shannon, hit it. 3 minutes, go.
Hey, Fernando, how are you holding up with all of this wildness?
Hey, Shannon, doing well. Listen, I know we had a meeting today, and just some things came up, and I don't know if today's gonna be a good time. Thank you for stopping by, though. I can chat for like I have like 2-3 minutes if you just want to chat. I know I'm sorry you drove here. Hopefully we can try and reschedule soon.
Well, don't worry, I'm still in my car, so I wasn't planning on seeing you anyway, because we can't see each other in person. But it's been so wild. I know you're busy. I know that everything is doing a 180 right now, so I don't want to waste your time. But I really thought that you'd be the best person to get involved in this project. So I know that I connect restaurants and community, and I'm really concerned with your community and mine, because frankly, we have restaurant owners and creators of businesses that Unblinded supports, and they can't open their doors, but I also have creatives that I work with that are unemployed. So I said, why don't we bridge the two, right? So for example, I am looking across the street right now at a restaurant called Roberta's. And it happens to be that Roberta's is closed, but the hostess actually speaks French. And I actually know the bartender, and he's a guitar player from a band called Warpaint. So I said, okay, how about we work with Unblinded to take pressure off these small businesses, and we create a documentary and an app that allows people to then, based on geolocation, to figure out how they could support their community. I'm going to call it Hello Neighbor, and you could have an Unblinded chapter within that. So for example, what's your favorite restaurant in your neighborhood?
I'm gonna go. My girlfriend loves Outback, so let's go with that one.
Okay, Outback wouldn't be a type of restaurant right now because it's more of a chain. So can we talk about a local restaurant in your neighborhood you may go to?
Yeah, let's go with McSwirly's.
Okay, McSwirly's. Okay, so at McSwirly's, I'm assuming you don't really know a lot of the staff, or would you know them by face but not personally, right?
I wouldn't want to admit it, but yeah, definitely. I know them. I say hello, but I don't know them all. Yeah.
So basically, what I'm saying is, we create an opportunity for you to get to know your neighbors. So within that, as an entrepreneur myself, and I guess you feel the same way, because a lot of us are hurting. We're all so busy. There's a lot of pressure on us. How are we going to keep our doors open, take care of ourselves, but most importantly, take care of our teams? So it's a great opportunity for you to get to know your neighbors. And I'm sure you love learning, right?
Yeah. And listen, I totally love learning. I got about 30 more seconds, and I'm hearing you. Geotechnology, getting to know people. We're actually doing, I would say we're accelerating. So we're not hurting. And it seems like a lot to do to get this going. So I'm just.
I agree with what you're saying. It's really about if you want to support the type of businesses you want to support. So, yeah.
You know what? Sounds interesting. Let's follow up on it. I'm sorry I had to cancel today. I really am. And let's, if you can send me a few things, maybe I'll look it over and we can kind of go from there. Thank you for being my neighbor today.
Definitely.
It's nice to be your neighbor. Shannon. All right. Awesome. Gil.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Gil, scale of 1 to 10, gravitational pull towards the yes for Fernando. Be honest, because we're going to support this and accelerate it. So scale 1 to 10.
I think, Shannon, you're awesome. I'd love to give you a hug next time in your neighborhood. I completely relate to you and resonate that doing it like this is not easy.
Yeah.
I think you didn't allow him to talk as much. So I would give you a 6.5 on 10. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree.
But I would invest.
Yeah, Fernando, you would
I
invest.
think
So
it's an
Fernando,
awesome app.
We're going to get there because you guys are amazing. And
Sean, don't give me none of this fluffy stuff, bro.
Yeah, we're cutting that off right now. So Fernando, what number?
If I was at a 4.5 before, I'll be at a 3 now.
All right, so here we go. So hey, ring, Fernando, almost there. I'm just looking at park. So where should I park?
Hey, Sean, listen, thank you so much for calling me. Something came up. I'd rather you not invest the money on the parking. I'm going to have to reschedule. Let's just do another time. I'm sorry you drove here. Let's talk a little later. Now it's just not a good time. Sorry again for, making you drive here.
Listen, not a problem. No problem. I was fired up, but understand. Can I have 3 minutes of your time?
Okay, 3 minutes.
Okay. My listening tells me that there's a big question you have about the value of putting some time into our meeting. Am I hearing that correctly?
That's some strong words. I'd be lying if I didn't say that was the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, all good. Listen, I just love to be in transparency. I don't want to waste your time and energy. I know it's incredibly valuable, and I think the world of you. Can I have, look, we got 2.5 minutes left. Quick question for you, right? My hallucination is that you're looking to continue to grow and scale your business and become involved in other projects that might do some social good and make some good things happen. Like, is that a fair statement or not? Better yet, what's your mission? If you give it to me in 30 seconds, like, what are you up to? What's your mission?
I don't want to think, and what you said kind of sums it up. I do want to scale, and, with everything going on, doing something besides social distancing for, the community would be great.
Okay. So, and what challenges, one more quick question. Because that sounds like, like, why do you do what you do? Just 15 seconds. I got a minute and a half left. Like, why do you do what you do?
Sean, I do what I do because I believe everyone in our community needs to be supported. And, right now, my main focus is trying to figure out how to do that. And I know that you have some cool ideas and some thoughts, and I'm just really focused on executing as fast as possible because time is of the essence.
Okay. So what I've clearly not done optimally is frame what we're talking about right now, because what I would love to have you excited to spend 30 minutes hearing about. Like, that's my outcome in this last minute. Excited to hear about is a crystal clear plan that through very limited extra time allows for immediate acceleration of everything you're up to. Immediate acceleration, and you can make money. What I call being paid to market. Like, paid to market. For doing what you do anyway, adding value, getting paid for it, and expanding the value of your ecosystem. If I could give you a project that would really hit those marks, would it be worth a half an hour of your time?
Minimal time invested, paid to market. I like minimal time invested, not quite clear on what paid to market means. Sounds interesting. And can you just send me the plan?
Paid to market means that you can invest time doing what you do usually and normally to expand the people you're touching to market, and you're actually monetizing that time as you're expanding the ecosystem of your amazing mission.
Okay. So I like the idea of monetizing time. That's really what's most important to me. I just feel like time is scarce right now. Okay, send it to me. And I think we could start with 15 minutes and we'll go from there. I'm curious, as long as I don't have to spend any more time doing anything, I'm curious enough to listen. I don't want to promise you here again. I don't want to have you drive here again.
Okay, 15 minutes accepted. And there's massive social good in light of everything happening with Corona. Does that increase your excitement about the 15-minute investment?
I'll take the time and I'll take the social good. So Sean, listen, thank you. If I need to validate that parking pass, let me know. And I'll talk to you later. So thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, what number, Fernando?
I'm still in role play. I'll give that, just in the Zeusness of it all, I'll give it like a 9.3 because I was trying everything in my power to say no to you. Like, I wanted to say no to you in the worst way, and you didn't let me out of the damn box.
All right, Gil, what number would you give me?
That was high up, man. 8.5.
Okay, Shannon, what number would you give?
8.7.
Okay, cool. So quickly, Shannon, so far, takeaways from our overall chat today. If you're gonna have like 3 takeaways, 1 to 3 takeaways, what would your top takeaways be so far?
Well, one, my whole job is to tell people, to do things differently and think outside the box. And when it comes to myself, I go, well, I would never drive. Like, you know what? There's ego for me here, because I go, oh, well, I would never drive to a meeting and have to wait in a lobby. I actually think this in my head. You know, I work in a very different world where, you know, I know who I'm speaking to. They know the project that I work on, and I have familiarity with that. And then I go deeper. But, you know, that's a lot of bullshit as well. Sorry, it's the S word. Because, you know, outside of that context, things are different. You know, I'm in a position right now where I wouldn't have to probably, you know, have my parking pass validated and wait on a bench. But who's to say that I don't shift industries or shift ideas and am in that scenario? And actually, as somebody who's a hustler, I kind of want to be in that scenario again, you know, in a sense. So I think that a lot of my own constraints I put on myself were, who does this person think they are? I don't need to work with this person. I would never work with a person like that. That doesn't give me the time of day. That's also my own stuff.
Can I challenge a fundamental paradigm of yours? And watch this, because this is what the Real Raw is about. It's about helping successful people break through to the next level, right? And us watching it. You are an effing rock star. What I'm hearing is a lot of limiting rules and beliefs around who you are, and what it all is, which is totally fine. Or at least beliefs, maybe not limiting, beliefs and rules, right? So here's a question I have. What is it all about ultimately for Shannon? Forget everyone else, anything else. What is it that you want to do in the world and have your legacy be? If you could wave the magic wand, like what does that look like, and what is life about for Shannon?
Well, what I want to do and what I do with my agency is create opportunities for minds that have the ability to change the world and the stories we tell.
So you want to change the world and the stories we tell.
We change the world through the stories that we tell.
Yeah.
We know that ads impact culture, right? What we see, look at the media, look what it's doing in the case of Corona.
Right.
You know, the stories we hear and the stories told have a huge effect on how we act and what we do.
Yeah. And how do you want to benefit from that process? Do you want to do that like Gandhi and Mother Teresa, where it's all mission driven and self-sacrifice, or are there economics associated to it that you'd like to receive for you?
You know, 10 years ago when I started the agency, it was really about giving a platform to artists I believe in. That was the only thing I cared about. Now, obviously, I know that to make bigger impact, which is still fundamentally my biggest care. You know, I get so much joy when I work with talent and then they perform on the Grammys. Like I'm like a proud mom in the back, you know, but also I know that economics is so important because, you know, it takes money to create. Now that I look at what I did a decade ago and I go, how did I even do that? But also to spread those stories further, we're competing against the biggest ad firms in the world right now. So it's pivotal to have, you know, economic success to be able to do that mission.
Yeah, and I would note to file, Fernando, that's the first time I heard Shannon say in between the huddle and the Real Raw that she works with artists, that she's worked with artists that then perform at the Grammys. That's the first time I've heard that. And that is a drop the mic unique identity piece. Would you agree, Fernando?
I would agree.
Yeah. So that is definitely something that people should know because it contextualizes people's listening, you know, Shannon. And you're an absolute rock star. And what comes up for me is if your mission is to change the world through the stories that we tell or that are told, that you're co-creating and being told the people that you're working with, there's a lot of different ways to make that reality happen that also provide monetization through fair value add that scales your own influence, power, the ability for you to access power and ability to create the outcomes that you're seeking. Like, how do you react to that statement?
Brings me joy.
Yeah. So let's go. Fernando, 10 seconds. What is present for you as it relates to Shannon's next levels of breakthroughs and accelerations?
Super grateful to hear, you know, the opening of ego subjugation. I think that's great. You know, one of the things that of training hundreds of people now, there's a self-mastery deficiency that we bring. Like, for example, one would be people don't want to build rapport. That is like a self-mastery conversation. So we believing that, other people show up as not wanting to believe rapport. And there's like a different dynamic here which is a self-mastery conversation of everyone should be frictionless. And I think there's an access point in understanding that even though people quote unquote should be frictionless, that there might be friction and there's an opportunity to step into that friction to get what Shannon wants. So I would say that is like the paradigm I'm looking in. It is self-mastery prism, viewing process mastery, focusing on frictionlessness. I believe that's a key growth area.
Yeah, and if last thing for Shannon, then we'll bounce to Gil. Last thing, Shannon, is I don't think that your value in the world has your value in the world has marginal at best relation to the industry that you work in and serve. So like you can impact every and any industry massively. And if you're singularly passionate about the ones you've described, that's amazing. That's awesome. At the same time, your ability to create impact and make things happen is magical. I've experienced it. I've benefited from it. I see my future in you and your work. And I think that the more you are able to teach others to be models of Shannon and scale your enterprise, the world is going to be a much better place. So I am committed to continuing to explore and work together to have you to benefit from your amazing talents and value, and hopefully you can benefit from mine and make magic happen, because you are an absolute gift to this world. And I mean that with all my heart.
Thank you.
So thank you, Shannon. Gil, brother, what is present for you in terms of this hour that we've spent together in some of this real raw? Like what's coming up for you?
I'm trying to just take it all in. I should have been writing a lot of notes as you were speaking. First of all, thank you for introducing me to a new level of Sean that I haven't met yet. I'm very much honored to be here on your show, and I'm really grateful that I could be learning. And Shannon, it's a great pleasure to be online with you. And Fernando, thank you for co-hosting this. It's beautiful. I like being put on the spot like that. It doesn't happen very often that I'm like, oh shit, I gotta sell something right now. You know, the basketball coach doesn't always play basketball as well as the players. As a coach, I'm definitely able to tell my team how they could do things better. I don't always practice what I preach. And today being put on the spot to say, okay, sell your services, Gil, was not easy. Like I would have given myself a 2 on 10, maybe a 3 on 10 max. So thank you for putting me on the spot like that. That's it's an interesting experience to have, and I love just watching you interact. And I think you're a melting pot of wisdom and experience and a lot of energy to share. So thank you for that, Sean.
No, thank you, Gil. And here's what's present for me. There's so much that I'm inspired by in your work, in the international nature of it, in your ability to galvanize energy for people to get on airplanes and fly over the world to attend events, for your ability to bring incredible speakers and leaders to other countries. And you've just done a remarkable job. And I am excited to add value to your world and to explore and continue to grow things we can do together. And I think there's massive access to that. And if you really think about it, an outcome for the real raw role plays, so we can drop the mic and prove how we eat our own cooking, is another thing that's actually happening on these real raws, besides teaching people who watch, is we're creating ecosystem merger advancement together. So I would hallucinate, Gil, that you're, and I'm asking for, this is real raw, 100% straight up, right? Like I'm not asking you to say something nice to me. I want to know the truth. This is in service of people because I want to learn too. But my hallucination would be that you have increased your belief in Unblinded and the work that we're up to after our interactions today. Is that a true or false statement?
It's very much true. I'm even more excited about launching a new product with you because serving people is a beautiful thing to do, but being able to serve with someone else and co-elevate together
Yes.
to give people the ability to bring more opportunities and more enlightenment and more happiness into their lives is an amazing thing, especially if we could do it together.
Yeah. And so Shannon and Gil and everybody listening, what you're tuning into is Real Raws. We're coaching people up, and we're also having like real ecosystem relationship merger stuff going on. We're building rapport with Shannon and Gil in a rapid, compressed fashion to accelerate how we can give to them, they can give to us, and what we can co-create together. So what you're getting an inside view on is how Gil does it and Shannon does it, I do it, Fernando does it, we do it, and what's actually happening, because people don't get to watch that anywhere in the world. And that's also happening here. So the Real Raw, if you were to say, hey, what is that? We're creating about 7 different simultaneous outcomes in a little over an hour today. And I'm super grateful, Shannon, for your time. Gil, I'm super grateful for your time. And I'll just give you, 15, 30 seconds, Shannon, on anything final you want to share, including how people could find you.
Well, thank you. And thanks for challenging me, Fernando. And it's so great to meet you, Gil. You seem awesome. So hopefully we meet our IRL when the world ends quarantine. You could find me at Restless Group on Instagram. I sometimes post. I'm being forced to post now by my team in the midst of the chaos. Or you could email me at shannon@restlessgroup.com and I'll add you to our list too. We throw a lot of parties. Last night we did a dinner with DoorDash, a virtual dinner, which was interesting. So we're trying to think out of the box, even during times like this. So
that's awesome.
Shannon, and one more time, what's the Instagram?
Restless, like I can't stop moving, group.
RESTLESS?
Yes, Restless Group, or just email me at shannon@restlessgroup.
All right, awesome.
Love you, Shannon.
Yes, thank you, Shannon, rock star. And Gil, last 30 seconds from you, including.
I'd like to be invited to your party, Shannon.
Yeah.
I'll be the chef. I'll cook, no problem.
Oh, I like that new idea.
Yeah.
Boom.
So I'm the only Gil Petersil on Google. It's very, very easy to find me, whether it's on Instagram or LinkedIn or the others, but LinkedIn and Instagram are the best way to connect with me. If I could ever help you to think outside of the box, to go global, it's something that I love helping people with, to think strategically when building relationships and not really monetizing your network, but allowing your network to help you grow and create more opportunities. People always asking me, Gil, how do you monetize your network? I'm like, I don't. I get my network to elevate me and to grow up, and then more opportunities come in and give me anything I really want. And I love being able to give that to people, especially in the international market. If I can help you zigzag around the world, especially from Zoom these days, it's super easy to bring these opportunities into your life. Allow me to serve you. Let's connect soon.
All right, Gil, amazing. And how do you spell your last name for everybody?
Petersil.
All right.
Gil Petersil. Yeah, the only one.
Beautiful. Gil, Shannon, thank you. Fernando, brother, we are all blind.
And just learning to see.
Have a beautiful day. Let's go get it.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Fernando. Nice to meet you, Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon.
Bye-bye, everyone. Lots of love from Bali.
Thank you. Enjoy.